We will look for the part 2 of the selection. Last video we checked the marquee tool for selection. In this one we look for another selection option. So let's get started. The first one is the lasso tool, but before the lasso tool I would like to highlight something, is the anti-alias of the selection. For example, if I click anti-alias over here and I draw a circle, a proportional circle, and I fill this with the foreground color which is black, and I create, and then I uncheck anti-alias and I create another circle just beside, and select and fill this with foreground color. Anti-alias is an option which is very familiar to the gamers who are gamers. They can easily understand. This is what, for example, on 100% this circle can be seen a full circle without any pixelation or any pixel at the corners to make it a circle. There is some blurriness at the round of the circle, some what you can say as the blur pixels which can make up this circle. But as you can see with this, even in 100% image, you can see some little pixelated around the circle. You can see, if you can see it clearly, if I zoom it, here you go. These are the blurs to make it a perfect circle at 100%, and this is with the uncheck anti-alias, and this is with the anti-alias selected. So this was missed from the last video. But coming back to the selection, right, so here we go with the polygon lasso tool. Lasso tool is the one which can be freely selected, just like making a selection or moving it around. Hardly anybody can use this, but it's for free selection, free form of selection. We look to polygon lasso tool, which are straight lined and are perfect for the selection, like these structural buildings. So just give it a try. You can draw a straight line like this, and even you can go outside the canvas, but here I don't require anything. For example, if I want to select till here, and you can notice over here I have made a mistake, so I can press delete on Mac and backspace on Windows to get to the last position, or again to the last position, and make it a perfect as much I can, and then closing my selection. So this portion of the image, or this pixels of the image, will be selected using polygon lasso tool. So if I want to make or move this selection, right click it or select a layer via copy, or the shortcut for this is Ctrl J, which is another shortcut for duplicating a layer. But in case if the layer is selected, it will only copy the selected part. Layer via copy, you can see over here. If I hide this, you can see the one which is selected is only copied to the transparent layer. Same we can do if we are layer through Ctrl J. Let me show you. Here we selected and Ctrl J, the same effect we get with layer via copy. So this is what polygon lasso tool, the features, the options for the polygon lasso tools are the same as per all the selections. The additions, subtraction, and the union. Feathers, you can feather it around if you have any blurry want to select, and until as I have already discussed. leave select and mask, this is a whole new video or a whole new chapter. We'll discuss this in detail in the later videos. So let's move on to the magnetic lasso tool, for which I have selected an image of this avocado. So what you can do is, for example, if I click over here and I move around roughly, it will select the most tight position around the image depending upon the image resolution or the image color. You can see this is a very rough selection, as what the width of the image is. If I decrease this, it will give me a free flow. For example, make it like 32, and then if I select, and look, it can select other portion of also, and if I make something wrong, I can go back to the last position just like the other selections. Even if I made a mistake and if I want to force the selection to a point, I can click and then click again to make it a particular selection. So this one depend upon the width and contrast or the frequency for this selection. Just give it a try, make it 55 and then select again. Look, if I go further, it will come back to the nearest selection like this and closing the selection. For this I can add or I can subtract from here. Whatever you want to, but right, this is useful for some object which are on a plane surface just like this, or you want to extract this avocado or any fruit out of any image. So the options provided by the magnetic lasso tool are the same, but the difference is the width and the contrast. One more thing which I just want to highlight, that in Photoshop, if you hover over the width or the option, you can see a small scroll over here which you can increase or decrease just by dragging it, and even the width also, instead of typing it. So this one was the magnetic lasso tool. Okay, now let's get to the quick selection tool. Search view, magnetic wand tool. Magnetic wand tool is select the area, the color, depending upon the tolerance provided over here, and the contiguous means the same color as it found in the overall the picture. For example, if I click over here, it select this part of the image, differentiating from the above and the below where the color is being changed, or the color is differ or is slightly changed. Same goes for if I press shift and press, it can select addition part of that image. But if I make the tolerance to 45, let's see, and select, it will select a wide portion of that image. Similarly, if I select this cross, it select that particular colors depending upon the image where the same colors or same pattern, same pixels are. Secondly, if I increase the tolerance to 65, let's see, and then I select trees over here, it will select the color brown, the reflection of the light brown, and the grass over here, including the trees a bit off where the brown colors are. If we do a layer where copy or control J, we'll get this result, which is not just satisfactory. Just to show you, so this one is my magic wand. It is useful in some part of the images where quick selection or where solid colors are provided, or where we want to select multiple colors of the same multiple colors in the same picture. The one which is the favorite of all is the quick selection tool. So the quick selection tool has an option of sample all layer. If I collect sample all layers, and if I have several layers over here, it will select all the images below it, so I have only one image, which is the background, so there is no use of clicking sample all layer. Auto enhancer is the auto enhancer does that whenever I select something, it enhances the shape of that selection depending upon the image. Let's see, if I select the sky over here, there's a little bit difference between auto enhancer and this normal image. And if I try with auto enhancer, I'm getting the same result. To redefine, to clear this, we can use select marks also, but we can use the minus sign, or click alt to select the mountain part of the image, like this. And even you can add also by clicking shift. So there you go. So it's a rough selection, you have to give it a time. I'm just making this for the video. Quick selections are also used for inverse selection. For example, if I have to select this mountain instead of this sky, I can select the sky and then inverse it by going to select inverse, which is shift command I, and you can see that it has selected all the scenery excluding the sky. But we will restrict ourselves to the sky. For example, if you have to change the sky in this image, what you will do is inverse the selection and copy this, unhide the other layer, the layer beneath it, and copy this selection, just drag it to the image and leave it. Adjust this image, and as per the sky is behind the mountain, so what we will do is select and drag this layer below layer 1, and there you can have your sky change to the one which you want. I know this is not matching with the scenery, but just to demonstrate, or you can move it around to give it a feel of a sky that you can. So quick selection are the most perfect ones, or the most common one in manipulations. So here we can end up our video for the selections. Just give me a thumbs up, like, comment if you like the video, if you want anything else, and any other option to be, any other tool to be discussed, which we will carry in our future videos. Thank you very much.